So, Sarah, here we are at the grand finale of our linguistic journey, episode 20. I've honestly been looking forward to this one all week. The way language pulses through London is just fascinating, isn't it?
It really is, Paul. What I love is how London's voices reflect every twist in its history and culture. When someone says, "Bob's your uncle," or drops an MLE phrase, it's like you're hearing the city's story in real time.
That's such a good way to put it. And today, we're zooming in on the slang and vocab that define these voices, RP, Cockney, MLE, all swirling together in the city soundscape.
Plus, every accent carries its own social baggage, doesn't it? I can't wait to dive into the words and phrases that make each voice unique, but also show how they're all connected.
It still amazes me how London slang can change overnight. Sometimes I'll hear a new word on the tube, and then it's everywhere within a week.
Absolutely, and I think it's because the city's so dense and diverse. One phrase will pop up in Hackney, then before you know it, someone's using it in Brixton. Social media speeds things up now, too.
Yeah, it's like London's a living dictionary. I always wonder who decides which words stick around and which ones disappear.
Sometimes it's pure luck, but often it's tied to music or TV. If a word gets picked up by grime artists or ends up on a popular show, suddenly everyone's saying it.
Switching gears for a moment, when people think of proper London English, RP usually springs to mind. Its vocabulary feels almost timeless to some, doesn't it?
Definitely. RP vocabulary tends to avoid slang, sticking to words with deep roots in standard English. There's this sense of formality, which you hear in phrases like splendid or marvelous, words hardly anyone uses in daily chat outside that circle.
And yet, those same words carry a weight of authority or prestige. Whenever someone drops a polished RP phrase, it can really change how they're perceived.
But funny enough, younger generations in London are drifting away from RP. You're more likely to hear a mix of informal, multicultural words even among students at top universities now.
Moving on from RP. Cockney rhyming slang is probably London's most famous linguistic export. I still chuckle whenever someone calls their phone a dog and bone.
It's wild how those quirky phrases have survived. There's something mischievous about Cockney slang, like it's a secret code for Londoners. My granddad still says apples and pears for stairs, completely straight-faced.
I love that. And even when people drop the second word just saying I'm heading up the apples, it still makes sense if you're in the know.
Exactly. It's almost like being part of a club. It keeps Londoners connected to their roots, even as the city keeps changing.
What's blown me away lately is how quickly MLE slang has exploded, all these words like mandem or peng cropping up in conversations everywhere.
Yeah, and what's really cool is how MLE borrows from so many backgrounds: Jamaican patois, Nigerian English, South Asian languages. You hear it especially from younger Londoners, regardless of their heritage.
It almost feels like a badge of identity, right? Like, if you know the words, you belong.
Completely. And as MLE grows, it's shaping British English far beyond London. Words like bear or ting have spread across the UK.
Let's have some fun, Sarah. Can you break down a couple of those iconic phrases for us?
Sure thing. Take Bob's your uncle, it means. And there you have it, or you're all set. No one's quite sure where it came from, but it's pure London charm.
And what about in it? I feel like that one's everywhere, from playgrounds to Parliament.
Oh, in it is classic. It's a contraction of isn't it, but in MLE it can mean right? Or don't you agree? It's the ultimate tag question.
That last bit actually reminds me of how much London slang pops up in music and TV now. It's almost like those platforms are megaphones for local lingo.
Definitely. Grime and UK rap especially have pushed MLE words into the mainstream. Shows like Top Boy have people outside London quoting phrases they'd never used before.
And once a phrase shows up in a hit song, it seems to just erupt into everyday speech. Suddenly, even your aunt is saying something's peak or blessed.
It's amazing, isn't it? London doesn't just invent new words, it exports them to the rest of the world.
I've got to share this last month I used peng in front of my mum, and she literally stopped and asked if I'd sneezed. Ever had a moment like that?
Totally. I once said allow it to a colleague, and she thought I was asking for permission. It's a reminder that this slang isn't universal. Even in London, meanings can slip by.
That's so true. Sometimes it bridges generations, but other times it's a language barrier in your own family.
And it can be hilarious or awkward, depending on who you're talking to. But I guess that's part of what makes language so alive here.
Thinking about those stories, it's clear how slang can bring people together, but also keep some folks out. It really acts like a social filter, doesn't it?
For sure. In some groups, using the right slang signals you're an insider. But if you get it slightly wrong, people might look at you funny or laugh, even if you grew up just down the road.
And that links back to identity. The words we choose can say where we belong or want to belong, even if that changes over time.
What fascinates me is how quickly people adapt. In a new crowd, you might pick up their phrases without even realizing, just to fit in.
On that note, Sarah, do you reckon digital communication is changing slang even faster? WhatsApp groups and TikTok seem to create new trends overnight.
No question about it. Memes, viral videos, group chats, words get invented and spread at lightning speed. Sometimes, slang that starts in London goes global within days.
It's almost dizzying to keep up. I find myself Googling phrases just to understand what my nieces are talking about.
Same here. But it keeps things interesting, doesn't it? London lingo never stands still, even if we sometimes wish it would slow down a bit.
Funny how a word can be more than just a word. It can carry pride, history, even a sense of rebellion. London's language is all about that mix, isn't it?
Exactly. Each phrase is a tiny cultural marker. When someone uses Cockney slang, it's often about tradition. MLE, on the other hand, is more about innovation and reflecting the city's modern face.
And RP still lingers as a symbol of status or formality, even if it's less cool among the youth. It's like each accent and slang tells its own London story.
That's what I love about this city. Its language is as layered and colourful as the people living here.
So, as we come to the end of this episode and this whole phase of our podcast, I keep thinking about how London's language is always on the move. It never really sits still.
That's the magic, isn't it? Whether it's RP, Cockney or MLE, every version has something to teach us about identity, community and change. You never know, maybe next year there'll be a brand new slang we haven't even heard yet.
I hope our listeners have enjoyed this deep dive as much as we have. London's lingo is endlessly fascinating. So get out there, try a new phrase, and Bob's your uncle.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Paul. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Let's keep celebrating the voices that make London so unique. Catch you on the next adventure.